Welcome to the Instagram stories for Monday, January 15th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. I am back from traveling. When I came back, I got a sinus infection, so that was exciting. I am feeling a lot better though. Still sound a little bit, I'll say not perfect, but wanted to do a show for you as soon as possible. We're going to do Mosseri Monday, but before we do, there's some news I want to talk about. If you have listened to this show for any length of time, you've heard me talk about the app Artifact. Artifact was launched by the two co-creators of Instagram, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. After they went on to sell Instagram to Facebook for $1 billion, they didn't do a lot until they launched Artifact, which was a news app, and they were adding AI features and commenting. I did not think Artifact was amazing, but based on their track record, it was on my list of things to watch very closely to see how they would impact the social media, news, AI landscape. However, in a blog post from the Artifact team, they share that they have made the decision to wind down operations of the Artifact app. They explain that they launched a year ago, and since then they've been working tirelessly to build a great product. They built something that a core group of users love, but they concluded that the market opportunity isn't big enough to warrant continued investment in this way. As of the publication of this blog post, they decided to slim down the app's complexity and operations by removing the ability to add new comments and posts. However, Artifact will continue to operate the core news reading capability through the end of February. I will say overall that I am not shocked. There are a lot of ways to get news in 2024. You can go on X, you can go on Threads, you can use Google News, you could go to CNN.com. There's a million ways to get news. So I'm not entirely shocked by this news. However, since the team had made such a large impact to the social media landscape because of Instagram, I felt like they were poised to do something huge. I will say that I bet they're going to go back to the drawing board and come up with a new idea of something else that they can disrupt. And of course, I will report on it and keep you posted. You can take a look at this blog post in the show notes where I will link to it. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into Adam Mosseri's Ask Me Anything. So stick around. Welcome back. Let's get into Adam Mosseri's questions. My favorite, what are the top things the algorithms look for when showing me posts on Instagram? I think it's important to understand that the way Adam Mosseri answers this question is from the vantage point of making the best possible experience for the user, not the person who's trying to get their content seen, but by the person who is viewing the content. What can Instagram do to give that person the best possible experience on Instagram? That's their approach. They don't care about your reach. That's not as important. Here's the answer to the question, what are the top 3 things your algorithms look for when showing me posts on Instagram?
For stories and posts from accounts you follow, it's really about how much we think you care about that person and that story or that post, and is it going to spark some sort of connection between you? For content from accounts you don't yet follow, it's about how interesting we think it is to you specifically, and is it going to start a conversation between you and someone you care about?
Okay, let's go on to the next question, and I really like this one. What is the gap in the ecosystem that you think Threads is filling? I love this question because I think the gap in the ecosystem is people are unhappy with X, the negativity that happens over there. They're tired of Elon Musk's behavior, and therefore they use Threads as an alternative to that. I don't think that's the best long-term play, but I think Instagram's Threads opportunity has capitalized on some of those problems on X. Here's the answer to the question, what is the gap in the ecosystem you think Threads is filling?
The core thing is just to be a less angry space for public conversations. Also one that's more open where you can own your audience, and one that's integrated into Instagram and can benefit from the vibrant, amazing creator community on that platform. And it is a long road, but I'm really excited about the progress and the momentum, particularly over the last couple months.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. The next one is, so what's the deal with IG Notes? A lot of times I want to say that I think employees at Instagram write in these questions because if someone is savvy enough to know what IG Notes are, but not enough to understand what they actually do, I feel like why would you ask the question? That's just my opinion. You know what Instagram Notes are because you listen to me talk about them all the time. Very similar to AOL AIM statuses, away messages that we used to have back in the day. Now they can have the ability to link to music or have short videos in there, and they're within your DM inbox. Here's Adam's answer to what's with the IG Notes.
IG notes are a much bigger deal for Instagram than I think a lot of people realize. They're a way to start connections with friends, to start a conversation with a friend. And that's a core part of what we do, right? We bring people together over their interests. They're used a ton, particularly by young people. They've actually increased the overall usage of Instagram more than most other things in 2023. But a lot of people don't even know they exist or use them at all. So check them out. They're basically AIM status, but better looking and integrated into Instagram. Nothing wild, but they've proved incredibly important to this sort of idea of connecting people with those that they care about.
And the last question we're going to do today, I'm actually going to flip it around. The question is, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self? I'm going to let Adam give his answer, and then I'm going to give the answer for what advice I would give my 20-year-old self.
In terms of professional advice, I think your 20s is a great time just to explore, to work hard, and to really figure out what you're interested in, try a bunch of different things, learn a lot, and then enter your 30s with a little bit more of a sense of where you want to focus and how you want to spend your time. I don't know that I truly did that. I kind of did that. A lot of where I ended up was a circuitous path, a lot of hard work, a lot of luck. But I definitely would advise my 20-year-old self to work hard and to be open-minded and explore a bunch of different things professionally before picking a path to really commit to.
I think that's a great answer. I would say two things. Number one, learn how to understand finances and live within your means. Whatever those means end up being, don't exceed them. Learn how to live within them to allow you to save and budget and do all of those things so that you don't end up in a financial situation you don't want to be in. That's number one. Number two, get really good at networking. And I say this as a person who I don't think I'm very good at networking. I feel like whenever I do network with someone, it is an underlying I want something attitude that I cannot seem to get rid of. And I don't like that about myself. I think the times where I have networked just for the sake of I want to add some value to that person's life or just listen to them or whatever have been great experiences, but it's very hard for me to kind of get to that place mentally. So I would encourage my 20-year-old self to figure out how to not do that. So this way, 44-year-old me isn't stuck in that hole. That's just my thought. That is going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening. If you would like to network with me so I cannot do that, where I just try to worry about what I can get out of it, I don't want to be that person, send me a DM at Daniel Hill Media. I would love to chat with you. This show is getting very personal. I think, maybe I need to go outside. Okay, thanks for listening.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.